Carl Sagan could not have predicted 2021, but he did see it coming. He wrote the following back in 1995, and we quote, "I have a foreboding of an America in my children's or grandchildren's time when the United States is a service and information economy, when nearly all the manufacturing industries have slipped away to other countries, when awesome technological powers are in the hands of a very few, and no one representing the public interest can even grasp the issues, when the people have lost the ability to set their own agendas or knowledgeably question those in authority, when, clutching our crystals and nervously consulting our horoscopes, our critical faculties in decline, unable to distinguish between what feels good and what's true, we slide almost without noticing back into superstition and darkness. The dumbing down of America is most evident in the slow decay of substantive content in the enormously influential media, the 30-second sound bites now down to 10 seconds or less, lowest common denominator programming, credulous presentations on pseudoscience and superstition, but especially a kind of celebration of ignorance." Roll that around for a while.
Ashton Forbes, you know, that super jacked guy.
Malaysian 370, contact Ho Chi Minh 120.9. Good night. Good night, Malaysian 370.
Breaking news tonight, a Malaysia Airlines flight with 239 people on board, including 4 Americans, has gone missing.
Even as these grainy satellite images released today by the Chinese government.
Again, the Malaysia flight too was one shot at China saying knock it off.
Why shoot it down though if it's not hostile?
Our technologies permit us to manipulate time and space.
Why the Americans do?
They leave distance annihilated.
This country is very powerful. Far more powerful than people understand. We have weaponry that nobody has any idea what it is, and it is the most powerful weapons in the world. Not even close.
I remembered the line from the Hindu scripture, the Bhagavad Gita. Vishnu is trying to persuade the prince that he should be his duty, and to impress him takes on his multi-armed form and says, "Now I am become death, the destroyer of worlds." I suppose we all thought that, one way or another.
Best intro in the game, chat. Best intro in the game. Thank you so much for being here. And yes, especially thank you to all the OGs in the chat. I see a lot of familiar faces, a lot of familiar names in the chat. I want to appreciate you specifically. Tonight, guys, we have talked a lot about felony physics. I have taught you guys Maxwell's equations and how the expanded Maxwell's equations allow us to manipulate gravity if we incorporate an extra dimension. I've taught you guys how to teleport objects using electromagnetism. We discovered last live stream in real time that John Archibald Wheeler coined the term ball lightning as an explanation for a black hole that's formed not from condensed matter, but from condensed electromagnetic energy. Because he realized the equivalence E equals mc squared means that energy is matter. That means if we can make a matter black hole, we can make an electromagnetic black hole. And he coined it ball lightning. You can't make this up. Which, by the way, from this point going forward, we will be referring to as Kugelblitz. Because that's literally the German translation, number one. Number two, there's a German translation for ball lightning, And part of the mythology around this technology is that we got it from the Nazis. We got it from the Germans. So we're definitely calling it Kugelblitz. By the way, that's a way doper name than ball lightning. So we're Kugelblitzing the hell out of everything from anything we can Kugelblitz max it out, chat, as the kids would say. Now, since we have taught you this, tonight we're going to be talking about disclosure once again, because there's a lot of content from UFO community advocates, disclosure advocates, people that I would consider to be woke disclosure, but I'm trying to be nicer, chat. I'm trying to be 20% nicer. It's hard, very difficult. They make it extremely difficult. Starting with number 1, the Lue Elizondo challenge. Let me pull it up, guys. Lue Elizondo responded to UAP Gerb on Wednesday after the live stream. And he said, "You're a lying liar, UAP Gerb." He said, "You were crying. You had a tear in your eye, and I had to come help you and try to give you advice." Said, "Call me, kid. Call me if you need to be told how the game works." And I flipped my card to him. That was Lue Elizondo's story. I'm probably exaggerating a little bit, but I'm pretty sure that's exactly how it went down. Now, here you go. Here's Lue Elizondo in his own words, so we can't backtrack, guys. He says, "Anyone." Here you go.
If Gerb or anybody else can prove that I colluded with Clapper to control this narrative, right, then I will apologize publicly to the American people, and I will leave ufology forever. Now, here's the other side of that. Here's the other side of that deal. You take this deal, and if you can't prove that, you have to leave ufology forever, and you have to leave journalism forever and never be a journalist again.
Bro, who does my man think he's challenging here? Loser leaves town match? Are you kidding me? Sign me up, chat. Put me in, coach. I accept. I accepted yesterday. When does the loser leave town match begin? So you're telling me all I got to do is prove that you are a part of the cover-up of UFOs and you'll never come into UFOlogy again? You'll leave UFOlogy entirely and I just win just like that? I get everything that I want, get rid of the woke disclosure people and replace them with people that understand technology and science and zero-point energy? I accept. Okay, look, chat. Not only do I accept, and I will throw Lue Elizondo $1,000. I'm frugal as hell. I'll pay $1,000 just for Lue Elizondo to come on my podcast and to defend himself from my questions. Number 1 question, when was the first time you saw the MH370 videos? That's number 1 question. When was the first time you saw those videos? That's going to be a fun one. Second one, what do you think happened to that airplane that's missing now, still to this day? Third question, what do you think is going on in those videos with that teleporting plane and all that? Fourth question, how close are these videos to your book where you wrote that it was a predator drone with 3 orbs of energy in a triangle formation? How similar are the videos? We can just start there. This is like, I'm begging for this to happen. Please, sir. Please, because it's not just a matter of wanting to completely expose Lue Elizondo, which I will certainly do, unequivocally. We deserve this. I'm also a consumer, chat. I'm just a healthcare IT consultant. You're like, Ashton, you're famous now. You're E-famous. No, I'm just a guy on the sideline that wants better content. I'm like the Joker. Look, I just want a better class of UFOologists, right? That's all I'm demanding out there. I'm holding these people to a higher bar because the standards are so damn low. I want to see a conversation between Lue Elizondo and Ashton Forbes just as much as you guys want to see it happen. So much so that I'm willing to throw another $1,000 in there. Should we make it 2,000? Let's make it 2,000 right now. $2,000 for Lue Elizondo to stand by his own challenge that he just issued. That he says, no, if anybody can say that I'm covering up UFOs, I worked with James Clapper. He's trying to frame it around how he worked with James Clapper. Bro, you're a counter intel guy. You were helping cover up this technology for the United States government. No question. How do I know that? Because you're still not talking about it. I can tell because I can tell by the people that don't talk about the free energy technology and the teleportation technology that the aliens have. They kind of forget to tell you that they're aliens or little green men. They got teleportation technology and free energy technology. Whoops. Forgot to mention that. I wonder why. Oh, because we're weaponizing it. Okay. Let's get to the news. Here we go, guys. Before we get into all that, I got to read you this because I couldn't believe this. I thought for sure. I see a lot of fake stories on the internet. I'm sure you guys see them all the time as well. This one maybe is real. I don't know. We're going to bump it up to 50% real possibility here. Apparently, the United States government is using our discombobulators and our Goybeams to shoot down random drones that are invading, whatever, maybe carrying drugs over the border, things like that. So you thought, everybody asked me, why aren't we using this technology? And I say, we used it to capture Maduro. How do you think we invaded a active military base and didn't lose anybody in our helicopters? Yeah, we used discombobulator technology. We basically used area of effect weapons that are electromagnetic to make people bleed out of their ears and make them not able to move, you know? Apparently, we are using this. Apparently, we're using it randomly in situations that is causing, well, let's just read it. It appears that a U.S. military accidentally killed everybody on board a civilian medevac flight in New Mexico. When those lights go out, man, you know you are in big trouble. That's a weird quote. I would say, when you see those orbs, chat, say your prayers. There's no stopping that phase transition. Anyway, here we go. FAA said they shut down El Paso Airport because experimental high-energy laser weapons were being used. After days of speculation, it was revealed that Customs and Border officials had fired off a laser volley from a U.S. Army base adjacent to El Paso Airport. The trigger-happy Border Patrol grunts evidently thought they were firing at drug-smuggling drones. Their real target turned out to be a kid's party balloon. Regardless, it was later reported the cutting-edge weapon was taken for a test drive a week before the FAA and Pentagon officials had a chance to discuss how to safely implement the laser device. Okay, I'm never getting on an airplane ever again. I'm never getting on an airplane ever again because apparently we're just firing laser beams and directed energy weapons that were just taking down balloons, drones, and what you're going to find out is an airplane. Hello, alien girl. Hope you're having a good night. Okay. But that's not the worst. Not every use of experimental aerospace weapons goes off without a hitch. I don't know. I wouldn't say shooting down children's balloons and shutting down airports is without a hitch. I actually remember that airport being shut down because people were always saying it's related to drones and UFOs. They always speculate. New bombshell reporting by Wired reveals an incident in which a testing of an experimental GPS jammer resulted in a medical plane crashing into the side of a mountain. Are we serious right now? Are we seriously jamming the airspace in our own country, causing random planes to crash? And we have anti-gravity Jetsons technology, and we're just letting people fly around in death machines and death tubes, in aluminum death tubes in the sky? I seriously, you can't hate these people hiding this technology enough. And somebody asked, Ashton, if we have teleportation technology, why didn't we save these people? Oh, sweet summer child. Oh, sweet summer child. You think we're saving people with advanced technology? Oh my goodness, sweet summer child. You see, welcome to Four Orbs. Turns out I'm your grandfather, number one. Number two, we're trying to flip that. We're trying to flip that whole paradigm. We're trying to make it so that instead of just killing people and teleporting people against their will with this technology, that maybe we use it to maybe help a person here or there. maybe we can help a homeless person, or maybe just any random person, any random tax-paying American. Maybe we can get some reparations. By the way, I forgot to mention Lulu. Lulu's doing pretty well, guys. I don't really want to show you this weird, gross infection thing on her butt, but she's doing pretty well. She's resting and she's getting her energy back. So I'm pretty happy about it right now. So thank you. Okay. Now, this horrifying incident happened in May when a small twin-engine medevac aircraft carrying 2 pilots and 2 medical workers departed from Roswell, New Mexico, heading west for a small mountain village. I'm not even going to pronounce it. Rudozo. The crew became the victim of an electronic warfare exercise being conducted at nearby White Sands Missile Range. I'm pretty sure I know about this missile range from Fallout. Pretty sure this is a place in Fallout. I don't know which one. One of them, though. Due to the combination of low visibility and air traffic control that was stretched far beyond capability, at least 3 other planes reported navigation disruptions due to GPS jamming. The pilots failed to register mountainous formation between the plane and the landing strip. Okay, that's enough. That's morbid enough, right, chat? You guys get the point. Long story short, we have area of effect GPS of Hormuz recently. And we have directed energy weapons that seem to defy the laws of physics, that we can beam energy over distances that conventional physics struggles to believe is possible due to falling off by r squared, distance squared. Now, we have to switch gears here before we get deep into the UFOlogy, because there's a couple more pieces of news I want to discuss. Number one is brand new. Actually, we're going to do this in the opposite order. Missile interceptors, chat. I can't believe I have to do this. Can't believe I have to be this guy right now. But there's so much bullshit. How do I know we are not running out of missile interceptors? I think this was some old disinformation from like a few weeks ago or several months ago, where people claiming we're running out of missiles. We're going to lose the war in Iran. We can't keep up. Guys, the reason why I knew this was bullshit weeks ago, and knew it was bullshit again yesterday before Pete Hegseth came out and said this is all bullshit and CNN's making them nonsense. Number one, we are the United States of America. We won World War II because we had more manufacturing capability than the rest of the world. That's why we won World War II. Go look up the math. Go look up the numbers. We were able to build more ships, build more planes, build more everything than everybody else. We aren't going to be the ones that run out of anything first in any war, ever. Simple as that. Number one, okay? Number two, we have teleportation technology and plasma orbs that most people out there think are aliens. We have alien technology. We're not worried about our missile interceptor supply. We got orbed interceptors that can teleport your nukes back onto you. If things ever got anywhere near hairy, we just break out the trump card and say, game over. Instantly game over. So I think a lot of people don't understand how the world works. And what I like about knowing about this technology is that you can see obvious lies, obvious propaganda and disinformation, and it's being pushed because they want to try to weaken us. You know, it's the idea that, oh, America's losing the war. We got to try to push public sentiment. And you see stupid people repeating this kind of stuff. So, I want to go to one clip. Because here's a good example of one such person. This is to help you guys out. Some of you guys are going to be offended by this. Some of you guys are going to say, Ashton got the 7K. Well, I tell you what, go look at those group chats that whatever they just leaked. You're not going to find my name on any of them. You're not going to find me getting any paid by anybody. You're not going to find me in any secret group chats coordinating with people. It's just Ashton giving you his honest opinions. So enjoy. Number two, we've got a serious problem, chat. I'm just going to play this clip.
Off record, do I think Israel fucking killed Charlie Kirk? I absolutely do.
I think Israel killed Charlie Kirk to see what would happen when they killed Trump.
Do you think Trump's ear shooting was staged?
Totally.
Yeah.
But I'm saying Vance is the ultimate Palantir Israel first candidate.
Okay.
He's the clavicular of politics.
Do you think he's behind a lot of this?
I think that all the powers that be, the actual people behind the curtain, which is the tech oligarchs that are connected to Israel, the corporate establishment, are priming Vance to be the ultimate AI Israel candidate. They think Trump's sort of like a dumb old mobster uncle with like gold toilets who just like dances around. And they.
Okay, chat. That was the most I could absorb there. Holy shit, chat. I can't believe this is a real world that we live in right now. That's basically the exact person I don't ever want to interact with ever in my life. You know what? In fact, this is radicalizing me. This clip is actually radicalizing me. Where's the I'm ready to sign the contract. Like I genuinely want to help the CIA make sure that these people, that this person right here can never ever have 0 point energy. Where do I sign up to help become a Men in Black or whatever I got to do to make sure this person can't do it? Where do I sign the double secret NDA that says they can blow my brains out if I ever say anything about this? I'm ready to sign right now. I'm ready to give it all up. Ready to give it all up. Actually, you know what? What was I even thinking? Those videos were definitely fake all this time, right? Oh my God, Chad. Oh my goodness. I just can't. Fully tatted up. Fully tatted up. Okay, and then the other thing here, I just got to call out this Anna Kasparian person, whatever her name is. Oh, we're going to play that clip too. We'll don't worry, chat. Only 2 more politics things that you have to sit through. I know you follow me for the science. This kind of stuff triggers me. I see this because some of you repost this stuff or you reply and then it shows up on my algo. Otherwise, I would never see any garbage like this. Get a load of the guy who bitched and moaned. I think this is about Ben Shapiro, who I don't know why people hate Ben Shapiro. I've seen Ben Shapiro on Bill Maher when I was younger. Never seemed like a bad guy. Always seemed intelligent, maybe a little autistic, maybe a little bit of a fast speaker, but I never saw any reason why you would hate the guy, right? Even if you thought he was wrong about certain things in politics. These people just genuinely hate him. I think it's just only because he's Jewish. I can't figure out any other reason. Get a load of the guy who bitched and moaned about the media accurately reporting, all capitals, by the way, accurately reporting our military has a depleted inventory of missile interceptors because he wants those very same soldiers to go to war with Iran unprepared on behalf of Israel, not for Americans. I mean, that is a loaded paragraph. We could go total Freud on this whole paragraph and dissect like the daddy issues that are going on here, the inadequacy, the bigotry. There are so many levels of hatred that are going on here. Now, some of you may say, Ashton, but she's hot though. Look, I'm not going to lie to you. I would fold instantly if she was here right now. No doubt. It's actually hotter that she's kind of a vile, evil bitch on top of this. I don't know why. It's just biology. It's just the way guys are wired. That's not the point. The point is yuck. Yuck, and I hope you guys don't think like this because A, it's just completely wrong. Number 2, you're helping our adversaries with garbage like this, spreading this. And number 3, why are you so obsessed with Israel? I don't really get that. I guess makes no sense to me, but I can tell that it's not genuine. I can tell that it's, either you've been brainwashed to think that way or like, some personal issues that you've got going on. Now that we've spoken about that, what are we going to do with these people? What are we going to do with these Redditors, with these people that we can never let have this technology? Well, chat, there's actually a simple solution to that. And that solution is speeding up quickly. I know you're not going to believe this. I didn't believe it. Here you go. CEO of Tri-Alpha Energy, Michael Benderbauer, says this agreement can facilitate our path to providing an alternative fusion supply option. TAE has a high degree of flexibility to offer the most cost-effective fuel cycle, whereas many other fusion machines are only able to operate on deuterium-tritium. This provides TAE with future flexibility depending on how markets change over the long run. Wow. Chat. We are smart as shit, so we know what all these words mean. He's saying they can do aneutronic fusion. Deuterium-tritium is nerfed janky-ass fusion. This is like getting your car from China and it just starts falling apart. That's what happens when you buy from China, chat. Buy American. Buy American, it won't be janky as shit. We don't use janky fusion fuels at Tri-Alpha Energy. So what kind of fusion fuels are we going to use? Developing a future fusion supply is critical. We are going to help establish the next generation fuel sources. Oh, I linked the wrong one. Where is it? Does it say inside here? Let me just see. Long story short, they came up with an agreement to use helium fusion, or to buy helium-3. Where is it? Oh, yeah, here it is. I should have just linked directly to the article, guys. There you go. Dun, dun, dun. TAE and Black Moon Energy Corporation entered a strategic helium-3 supply and commercialization agreement for fusion power. It's happening, chat. It is happening. We're building a moon base, and helium-3 agreements are being reached right now. Guys, I don't want to brag, but Jae Young Park sent me an email and he asked me, he said, Ashton, do you have a list of the best Redditors that will harvest the most helium-3 when we send them to the moon? And I said, sir, number one, highly respect you. And I said, number two, I will provide you the best list. These Redditors will be the most incelibate. They will be the most demoralized. And they will sit there and they will consume and produce your helium-3. We might have to have a Redditor tier list for sending them to the moon, chat. So take heart. It's not all bad. It's not all bad. We're going to send these weirdos to the moon. They're going to harvest our helium-3. It's delicious. Okay, let's get serious, guys. Let's get serious. The moment you guys waited for. It's disclosure time, chat. Bob Bigelow of Bigelow Aerospace has started a podcast to support disclosure. I tried to get through it. Couldn't even come close. Couldn't come close. It was brutal. No references of any science or anything like that. Just a bunch of mumbo jumbo about how aliens are going to change our life. But here you go. Here's the significant clip. Bob Bigelow on what he would tell Donald Trump for Donald Trump to give us disclosure. Bob Bigelow briefed Donald Trump for 75 minutes about aliens and UFOs. And from what I could tell from the interview, he basically told him about stories, the most credible stories that he knows of related to UFOs. To which my eyes rolled in the back of my head because I realized we're never getting disclosure. If stories is all we have, we're never getting disclosure. Not in a million years. Compared to the MH370 videos. So, here we go.
This is what I want you to say, Mr. President. A non-human intelligent presence has been on Earth for a very long time, using spacecraft and with performances completely beyond our capabilities and our human physics. And that's it. To say nothing else. That's it. That's all. Because what this is disclosure and it's actually confirmation. And the two are welded together.
Holy shit, are we cooked, chat? How cooked are we, guys? I feel like that kid that got bit by the snake. They got bit by the snake. I think it's just over. Let's just succumb to the poison. Let's just succumb to the poison, chat. Disclosure's not coming. On this point, I think I might just be fully anti-disclosure. At this point, I'm like, nah, you know what? It is real. It is real, but we're not getting it. We don't want it. You know what? Just keep it. Lock it back up. Close Pandora's box back up, guys. Okay, number one, that's what you want the president to say? You want the president to just be like, hey, he's walking up to Air Force One and be like, yeah, there's an alien presence here. It's been here forever. And they got secret alien physics, and we don't know anything about it. Bye. Peace. You think that's gonna go over well? Yeah, that sounds like a great plan. Great plan, Bob Bigelow. I can't believe we haven't done that yet. Holy crap, guys. At this point, I don't even know what I want. Like, okay, we go out there and they say, Ashton, okay, you're right. The videos are real. Go ahead. We're going to put you on CNN. What would you do? Number one, I would be wearing this exact shit. Probably not wearing a suit. Probably just wearing this. I'm going to go up on CNN. I'm going to have a board just like I'm, what's that guy's name? That really stupid guy? Crap. The one that hid in El Salvador. Ian Carroll's friend. Ryan Matta. I'm going to be like that Ryan Matta guy. I'm going to have a giant screen behind me here, right? On CNN. And it's just going to have the MH370 videos on it. And I'm just going to be standing next to it like I'm Vanna White. And I'm just going to be pointing at it. Going, and this is the part where we use the plasma orb right here to teleport the plane here. Because that's pretty much the intelligence level of people. That's how I would do it. So, I don't know. Maybe my plan won't work, but certainly seems better than that. Now, in addition to this, alien physics, I can't really listen to this guy because I know this is Bob Bigelow. He's the one that has been financing Hal Puthoff, financing the OSAP program. They're the ones, he's the money behind the DIRDs. Maybe he's not necessarily the one that, I don't know if he's necessarily where the money came right out of his pocket, but he's connected to this. How is he pretending like this is alien physics? How are any of these guys pretending like we don't know what it is? If they were being honest, like I'm being honest, they would say these are fusion reactors. These are plasma things. These are plasma electromagnetic objects flying around. But they're not doing that. Instead, they're going, we don't know what these are. They're aliens. They're from another dimension. They're from alien physics that we don't have the alien physics here. The alien physics only applies in the Zeta Reticuli dimension. Like, dude, what are you talking about? So this is my problem. If I was in the room with Bob Bigelow or Hal Puthoff or Lue Elizondo or any of these other guys, yes, the Obsiverse, thank you. Number one question, what is your angle? What is your agenda here? What are you trying to actually do? Because I know you know about free energy. I know you know about warp drives and teleportation. So why are you selling us this bullshit about aliens and not knowing what the stuff is flying around? Because at a bare minimum, you should be saying, yeah, we've been working on how to figure it out, and we've been mildly successful. But no, instead they're pretending like they got no idea how it works. But they do know. They definitely know. Let's go to a different clip. Let's switch gears here a little bit. We're going to come to Bob Lazar at the end because I want to review most of this Bob Lazar recent interview with JPP. I've actually come around and am even more convinced that the Bob Lazar interview is legit. Or the Bob Lazar story is legit. I don't know that he saw aliens. I don't think he did. But his overall story fits in highly credibly with how these special access programs work, how the technology has been advanced, and how it's been compartmentalized so that very few people know the full story. Now, before we get to that, I want to play this clip of Dylan Borland. This is brand new. Let me see here. Sorry, I don't have it up. Go. Okay.
I jumped at it because it's one of the few things.
Okay, here we go. I want to play this clip right around here. Let's start out this Pax River. Oh, wait. Why is this got the wrong thing up? There we go. Shout out to Jesse Michaels. Definitely blackballed, by the way. How do I know that? Because as you're going to watch in this next 7-minute clip, he pretty much talks about all the topics that we talk about here, and nobody else is talking about this stuff for the most part. I mean, there's a few people, but not many. Here you go.
Free ball.
No.
You know, Pax River comes up quite a bit, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, Pax River comes up quite a bit, including on my Sunday podcast with Dr. Salvatore Cesar Pais, 3:30 p.m. Eastern time, guys. This Sunday. I'll get the live link up. Where we're going to talk about this. We're going to talk about how Congressman Burleson went to Pax River and met with Salvatore Pais there and was in a skiff with the head of Aero and a bunch of other spooks who we don't really need to know who they are. That's fine. And presumably they talked about space-time manipulation. I don't know that for a fact, but I'm going to ask. So yeah, we know a little bit about it.
It does. So Pax River is basically has all of the hangars for the most advanced naval aviation. And it would be where, and I just had Eric Burleson on, congressman from Missouri, and he was like, this looks like a place where you would transfer a UFO. You might even hold a UFO.
I was able to actually be on site and see the facility that would have been that facility that they were going to transfer from Lockheed Martin to Bigelow Airspace.
Yeah, so a lot of people are saying Pax River stuff's going down there. Finding out that's where Sal works too. I mean, doesn't this kind of all add up? What I can't figure out is how are more people not putting the pieces together here? They're the ones saying, I didn't even know or care about. They transferred a UFO from Lockheed Martin to Pax River, or that's what they were at least trying to do that. Well, okay, how about the Navy engineer that's got 5 UFO patents that's working out of Pax River? Are these people serious right now? It's like, I think they got to stop getting in their own way. They're overcomplicating this. It's like, you found the answer. We're doing the Family Guy thing here. Hold on. Do I have the Family Guy thing? Yeah, here we go. Hold on, chat. Live looking on UFOlogy right now. This is UFOlogy right now.
Atlantic City all over again.
You've got 20. Hit me.
Peter, don't.
Hit me. 21. Hit me.
Peter.
Hit me. That's 30. Hit me.
That's UFOlogy right now. Hey, man, you got the answers? Here they are right in front of you. Salvatore Pais, Pax River, 5 UFO patents. They're like, nah, hit me, bro. They're like, that's fake, bro. Here's two videos of us zapping a plane out of the sky using some plasma orbs. Nah, that's fake, bro. How about that same Navy engineer says those videos are real and that's really the physics? No, that's got to be fake, bro. Disinformation, bro. It's our enemies. They're trying to confuse us.
And I'll tell you, just being there and seeing it, if you were ever going to do a transfer, it would be logistically the perfect venue to do that.
I was in Lue's book.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then you got to remember too, and then here's the problem is I'm trying to be so safe because I love this country and I love national defense. I don't want to put anybody in danger. Pax River strategically for a defense perspective, if you have a Golden Dome, hypothetically, that's a really important place to have. That's pretty far east. You have access all along the East Coast. So you throw something on Pax, you throw something in South Florida, you throw something up in Maine.
Look. You're trying to say you love our country. You won't tell us anything about the UFOs or the alien bodies. But you're out here exposing hypothetical Golden Dome locations? Come on, bro. Come on. You don't need to be talking about this or saying this kind of stuff. Let's just wear the damn UFOs and wear the damn aliens. Why is this so hard? Somebody knows the truth if you go up high enough.
you can defend the East Coast. But yeah. Yeah, hypothetically.
Hypothetically. And then you also have Salvatore Pais with his Navy patents from 2018 coming out of Pax River. And basically everything that you would need to build a UFO, from room temperature superconductivity to, mass reducing device, this thing that breaks the Schwinger limit. But yeah, he has all these patents that basically like how you would build a UFO.
Well, what you gotta love about Pais, and you and I talked about him and other things last night too.
How hard are these people going out of their way to avoid me? It's actually getting awkward at this point. I'm trying not to be egotistical about this, but like I'm the guy talking about this guy's coming on my podcast. The guy that talking about is coming on my podcast on Sunday. I got him on speed dial. In fact, I'm like one of the only podcasters who's got him on speed dial. He's completely corroborated the videos and the science in the videos, and they won't touch that with a 1,000-foot pole. In fact, they won't talk about it, and they won't even mention me at all. I mean, that's not true. Jesse has. Sus chat.
I love the fact that we're getting into this right now, but if you go into Google patents, they reference older patents to justify their current ones. And what's interesting is if you get into some triangle patents and some other things, you start to track down power sources and gravity control. You end up back in the 50s with the Air Force and NASA, and they're referencing things that are like, So,
like what from the 50s?
It's been like 2 years since I read it.
Yeah,
but they're talking about like gravity.
He got totally called out there. He didn't know what the hell he was talking about there. I'm not trying to be mean here, but he just got totally called out there. Oh, I looked at those patents 2 years ago and I saw some interesting references in there. Bro, come on, man. If you're gonna try to flex like this, you got to at least have one reference ready to go for when they say that. Because when they say that to me, when I do that, I'm like, oh, Robert Broussard. Robert Broussard, you should look into him because everybody's referencing Robert Broussard. Salvatore Pais references him. He also references Hal Puthoff, of course, in the scientific papers. And Robert Broussard was looking at an inertial electrostatic confinement fusion device using a high beta concept, which Tri-Alpha Energy, turns out they use a high beta concept too. So one thing I'm going to say here, if you guys are not familiar with the current up-to-date drama, I have nothing personal against Dylan Borland. I actually believe his story. I think he did see a black triangle or whatever else he saw. I think he just misinterpreted what he saw. I think that it is our technology. He admits he believes we can't have that technology. Therefore, he thinks he must have seen aliens. He just doesn't know. And he definitely doesn't know about the science or the physics. It's not a shot at him. He just doesn't.
And
there was the
temperatures and all of it.
It was the golden age of relativity then was what it was called. And even you had Bryce DeWitt was writing about, superconductivity and these rotating superconductors that would maybe create gravitational perturbations. He was writing about this in the 50s. You also had Stanley Desser and Richard Arnowit from Princeton writing about gravitons. And that connects with Ning Li's work in the early 2000s because she had this graviton model where you had AC superconductors rotating super quickly, creating weight reduction for anything.
Guys, I have a conspiracy theory. Sorry, guys, we're going there. I have a new conspiracy theory that is that Eric Weinstein was approached by the government to use his influence and funds to push Jesse Michaels and this podcast to have these conversations become public or whatever. Why? Because this all seems like, how does Jesse not get it? It's like for the people that are watching, it does seem like this is like mirroring exactly the stuff that we've been going over recently, every single day, every single week. And sure, we don't have any kind of control, we don't have ownership over these topics. Everybody can talk about them. But it just seems weird to be discussing this stuff and then not going to the logical conclusion. Like, oh, well, we must have figured out gravity control from this. Oh, maybe it turns out there is a connection to spin. And what's crazy for you guys who are going, no, Ashton, you're just reading too much into this. Keep watching. I'm not reading too much into this, chat. I'm not reading too much into this. Trust me.
Thing above it. And you know, it was this gravitational shielding mechanism. And if you read James Lukatsky's book, he talks about ceramic superconductors, which are very similar to, you know, what Ning Li was talking about.
So FYI, thank you for sharing that, because I listen to you and Gerb, and I pay attention. I always learn some new stuff about people and science when I listen to you, and Gerb always throws some acronym. I'm like, oh, what is that? And then I find my rabbit hole down. I'm like, oh, I know about that. So thank you for sharing that. But you know, you get into a really weird place with Pais, and well, how much of that is a cover and how much of that is true?
Bro. Chat, old Ashton would have crashed out right now. Old Ashton would be screaming right now. Super upset. But no, this is new. This is reformed Ashton. This is chill Ashton. Science is not a conspiracy theory. Unless you're talking about wearing a mask to protect yourself from a submicroscopic virus. The whole point of science is that you do a hypothesis, you put information out there, and then you test it, and you find out if it's true or not. This whole idea that, oh, the patents are disinformation. I see Ross Colehart say this. This is the same low IQ people that think that Israel killed Charlie Kirk, right? There's no evidence for any of this. It's just, well, that's what I want to believe. Oh, the vibes, though. Like, what vibes, dude? Salvatore Pais works at Pax River. You are the one that interviewed the congressman that went there and was in a skiff with him at Pax River. And you think that what, like, he's like, yeah, man, I'm going to post fake science in my name publicly so that I can be discredited later? Like, I don't know. How does that make any sense? In what reality does it make sense that somebody's going to put fake science out there to confuse our adversaries with their own name and ruin their own reputation? And what happens when it just doesn't work? Okay. I'm trying so hard right now.
Yeah. It's very unclear. And there are basic, when I run those patents by conventional physicists, they usually say this is extremely intriguing, but there are like checkmate in one ways to, you know, debunk this stuff. It doesn't really make any sense on the face of it. So there's either something deeper going on and he has something vital he's not, you know, saying, or it's, you know, deflected.
What? Like, have we just entered the zone where, like, we're not even reading the patents anymore? And we're just like making up a whole mythology around them that doesn't even exist. Like, well, I talked to some mainstream physicist, aka Eric Weinstein, and he says, well, it makes sense, but it's missing something. Dude, just say that you don't understand the patents. Just say that the physics is beyond your understanding, bro, because it's not that deep. We live in an age where you can actually just you can just ask AI, and AI can explain it to you. But the craziest part is Jesse explains it right after this. And it's going to sound familiar. Here you go.
Or keeps trying to throw people off the trail. It's unclear.
Yeah.
And there was a place where I got to in my interview with him where he was like, Jesse, go no further or whatever. And we were talking about the fifth dimension.
Are you serious right now? Chat, who says we're not over the target? If you say we're not over the target, just get out. If you're not enjoying the content, if you don't like being like 10 steps ahead, being like 100 years ahead of everybody else, just get out right now. This is just a free service that I offer here, where we just tell you what's going to happen in the future before it happens. The extra dimension, the fifth dimension. Jesse's bringing back up that point where Sal said he didn't want to go further after talking about when he brings up the fifth dimension. Like the thing that I spit on every single live stream, there's an extra dimension, 0-point energy. We can tap into it. This is what allows teleportation. This is what allows free energy to be possible. Remember that kid? Remember that super autistic kid talking about, ooh, stack the books on top of each other. Oh, extra dimension. That kid was right. He might have been autistic as hell, but he was right. There's an extra dimension. We just don't see it.
where electromagnetism might connect with gravity.
Let's get a little as you hit the Schwinger limit, break space time. What happens vis-a-vis this fifth dimension?
We'll not.
Okay.
We'll not touch on that. Leave it there, Jesse. Trust me on that. Leave it there.
So that might connect with this guy, Ferris Williams, who had this 5D dynamical model. And he was, so Oki Shannon.
Dude. What? Hey, Jesse. Hope you're having a good day, brother. Hope you're having a good day. I'm just chilling. We're just chilling, talking about things that, you know, that you talked about, you know, what stuff that we talked about weeks ago. Wow. Oak Shannon, Ferris Williams, 5D dynamic theory. Turns out mass energy density is the extra dimension. Spin, torque is the great unifier. Wow.
And who is this?
Yeah, I know Oak. I know Oak.
You know he is, yeah. So he's this Los Alamos project manager who's involved in this advanced theoretical physics group with Hal Puthoff and a bunch of people in the 80s and 90s.
Good old Palpatine chat. Remember? Oak Shannon is on some piece of paper. He was in some secret meeting where it was CIA spooks, DIA, and Hal Puthoff was there. An Oak Shannon nuclear engineer, aka worked on our nuclear energy in the Department of Energy labs, aka, you know, never going to talk to me. There's the Palpatine. There he is.
And they were kind of open source trying to study, you know, how UFOs work. And he was like the closest guy who had like a theoretical model for describing this was this guy, Ferris Williams, spelled with a P.
What this five-dimensional theory appears to do is tie together electromagnetism with gravity. And if you can do that, if you can take advantage of his expanded Maxwell equations, then maybe you can build an anti-gravity device.
Yeah.
This is so crazy. We're watching the same shit that we reviewed like last year. I think it was November last year. I'm just going off the top of my head. Maybe it was more recent. Reviewing the Oak Shannon videos talking about Ferris Williams, explaining that they believed, Oak Shannon and Ferris Williams believed that the government took his idea and used it. And yet, we're looking at a guy that believes that the black triangle he saw at a military base must be aliens because we can't have this technology.
We're going to have fun with this one. So I'm going to tiptoe this. So I had told you that in 2024, I had a large database saved of documents, briefings, private messages on classified on JWIX. And NSA came through and cleaned house. And they basically shut down Intel Link and Intel Docs. And we had to go get new justifications. But Oak Shannon was a massive conversation on the classified servers, and I may have been participating upon that once upon a time.
Really?
Oh.
Oak Shannon was a major topic on the classified servers. I can't tell if Dylan Borland's just kind of exaggerating here, but it is interesting because we don't know much about Oak Shannon. But Oak Shannon is the one that wrote this retrospective about Ferris Williams. Oak Shannon was the one that wanted us to know Ferris Williams has this 5D theory and unifies everything, unifies gravity and electromagnetism.
Yeah.
So people thought maybe he was involved in real UFO legacy initiatives.
I think this gets into the fun with ATIP, OSAP, UAP task force, and the theory that a lot of that was red teaming the legacy program, and figuring out, okay, because these groups are so selective that.
Wait, so red teaming. Okay, I might be on board with this, chat. Red teaming sounds like probing your own system. And this would make sense. One thing I want to point out is, wouldn't it make sense? Who would you want if you have some secret technology and you want to disclose part of this technology, part of these truths you've been hiding? Who would you entrust with that responsibility? you would entrust the people that you built it. Hal Puthoff's the perfect person. He's the guy that built it. You also put him in charge of probing it as well, because he's going to be the guy that he's going to figure out, like, how close are they to getting the truth. And then, meanwhile, he's going to be misleading them, and he's going to know the reality the whole time. That's how you would do it. And then those are the same people you have doing disclosure publicly on Joe Rogan and mainstream media. Those are your mouthpieces because they know where the line is and they know what to say and what not to say. You need to have somebody that knows the truth. Be those people. And that's how I know Dylan Borland doesn't know the truth. No disrespect to him. I know he absolutely, no doubt, does not know the truth. He's a guy that saw something, some technology that was admittedly abnormal, beyond the standard knowledge, and it influenced it and changed him. It radicalized him. That's what he is. I can tell looking at him right away. But sadly, there is a high-level cover-up that is in play here. And they have protocols upon protocols about how to deal with leaks of information. The number one way they deal with it is they don't address it. If something true is out there, they don't address it. I would put my life on the line. I would literally risk my life to prove the MH370 videos are real. What do I mean by that? I mean, the government is never going to make a statement on those videos that I keep promoting, and it's not because they're fake. It's because they're real, and the only way they can deal with them is not talking about them. Because anything they say will corroborate them. There's nothing they can say. And that allows me to say whatever I want and tell you straight up, I would put my life on the line. All I need them to do is declassify the files about the plane, which we know they have, because they've got the rejected FOIAs to go along with it. And it will prove what we did.
I don't want to call it brain drain. It's very groupthink. So create a third party, figure out what people can figure out with the internet and modern open source, have new theories come through and feed it back in. You know what I mean? Like, we're going to reverse it, feed it back in, and let these people have some new ideas.
So it was like, let's create this.
And this, you know what? I think we're kind of good on this and we understand what we're getting at here. But this is another good point. Why this Dr. Phil thing? They call up Dr. Phil and they're like, hey, Dr. Phil, we need you to explain. He's a psychologist. It's actually exactly what I was saying, is that we need psychologists. This problem isn't a problem. We don't even need scientists to explain. Nobody understands the science. No one really even cares. We need people to tell people, hey, don't blow your brains out. Like, hey, this is okay. It's okay that, we have this crazy technology. Turns out we were getting lied to. That's why we have Dr. Phil. Feels like a very manufactured disclosure process. And for us, one of the other reasons we know is because they're avoiding us, they're avoiding me. And you guys know, I even tell you the questions I'm going to ask ahead of time. And that's the reason why they avoid it. They can't answer those questions. Those are questions that expose the cover-up. They need to be able to control the questions. They need to be able to control the narrative. If they can't do that, they can't control the message. So let's switch our gears here and talk about Bob Lazar. Now, Bob Lazar's story is well known, actually. We've reviewed it before. I've said many times that I believe Bob Lazar was telling the truth. And the reason for that is that if you just listen to him, he's clearly not lying. He's not making up a story. Making up a story over a very long period of time and keeping that story consistent is very difficult. Plus, all of the debunks of Bob Lazar are just personal attacks. None of the debunks actually disprove any of his claims. They actually try to disprove, they try to attack his credibility and his education. They try to attack him having owned a burlesque house or something. They try to attack him from a perspective that isn't on his arguments, which to me is a huge red flag. Now, I was told personally by somebody that spoke to Bob Lazar, a reporter, that he didn't believe in zero-point energy, which I think is wild because as we're going to see in this interview, in this discussion, Bob Lazar clearly believes in zero-point energy. He just doesn't know it. He just doesn't know it. And maybe it's just a matter of 0-point energy versus some other explanation. It's just semantics. And we shouldn't get caught up in the semantics if you want to call this, or if you want to call it that. So let's do this retrospective on Bob Lazar, where he goes through his story with JPP. It's what is it? Justin Pierre Paul? Whatever. I don't know. Famous MMA guy. Or no, GSP. George St. Pierre. George St. Pierre. That's what it is. Sorry, my bad. Sorry, guys. George St. Pierre. Shout out to George St. Pierre. Here's his podcast. Guess we'll subscribe. It's kind of weird he's going on here, huh? Okay, we're going to start right about here, I think. Los Alamos.
I appreciate doing this for me. Can you go back to the beginning, that journey that leads you to work at S4?
Yeah, working at Los Alamos, and which is the birthplace of the atomic bomb. I heard one day that Ed Teller, the father of the hydrogen bomb, was going to be giving a lecture there. Before that, a few days before.
Okay, pause, chat. Pause. I don't know how I didn't know this. Probably my fault. But supposedly, this is what got me excited, was that supposedly there was a connection between Edward Teller and Bob Lazar that led to his whole connection. I didn't even know that's how he got supposedly connected to S4 Area 51. And I'm going, wait a minute. So when this interview starts with the story, I'm really interested. Why? Guys, I'm out here saying this technology comes from nuclear weapons. And that Edward Teller, Oppenheimer, all the Manhattan Project guys probably knew we manipulate space-time. And they made a conscious decision to hide it like 80 years ago. So Edward Teller was definitely the one holding the keys to this secret, to all this UFO technology. So for him to have a personal story connection to Bob Lazar, that increases the credibility in my mind tenfold. It's a multiplier effect, chat.
A jet car I had built, the Honda, inside a Honda Civic, was on the front page of the newspaper. When I got to the lecture hall, I went there very early. There was no one else there, but Ed Teller was there.
Okay.
And he was sitting on the wall outside, and he was reading the front page of the paper about me. So I figure it's a perfect way to introduce myself. I'm, the guy you're reading about. He was a really interesting guy to talk to. And then I went.
Wow. Are you kidding me? I can't even believe this story. But it's obviously true. I mean, how do you make up a story like that? And it's true that he's in the newspaper. He did make this car, and I think it was a hydrogen-powered car. I could be wrong. So the pieces are starting to come together. You realize Edward Teller's reading the newspaper about this guy, Bob Lazar, and then he's about to do a lecture, and Bob Lazar walks up, and he's like, hey, I'm that guy on the newspaper. I was doing that rocket-powered car. You would immediately be interested. You would immediately be like, oh, this guy's a guy that sees physics. He's an engineer. Maybe he can see outside the lines. This is exactly how they find these people, by the way. I think a lot of people out there think that they go and look for the Eric Weinsteins of the world. They're like, Eric Weinstein, the aliens have invaded. You need to figure out how the alien those are not the guys they go for, guys. Eric Weinstein can't build anything. They are A, looking for engineers, B, they're looking for electrical engineers, and C, they're looking for people that don't necessarily have academic credentials. They don't care about that at all. That's not even a requirement. What they're looking for is people that can think outside the box. You say, Ashton, how have more people not figured this out? That's exactly the problem. How has Jesse Michaels not figured this out? He's out here talking about Ferris Williams, 5D theory. He's saying everything. How have they not figured out? Because he doesn't see it. He doesn't see it. I talked to Dave Rossi about this, and Dave Rossi's right. He's like, some people see it and some people don't. It's really that simple. Some people see there's an extra dimension. Some people there's a wall in the way, and they just cannot see it. And a lot of time it's because of how they were taught, how they were raised, how they were told to think. That's the problem, the barrier.
went in and saw his lecture. Fast forward to years later, I've left the lab and wanted to get back into the scientific community.
Yeah.
Now I'm living in Las Vegas. So I sent resumes out to a bunch of places and also to him. He contacted me and said, you know, I might have something you would be interested in. EG&G Special Projects, which at that time was at McCarran Airport, went there, had an interview, and left.
Did what? Edward Teller calls him up. So Bob Lazar sends out his resume to a bunch of places trying to get a job. And Edward Teller responds. Why? Because, well, he had a personal interaction with them and he was like, oh, this guy might know. And he's like, hey, I got a gig for you. You can go out to this place EG&G and we got a little contract job for you. This is, by the way, exactly how it works. How do I know? I've talked to some of these dudes. This is how it works. You do these contract jobs and you're probably not even technically working for Lockheed Martin or whatever. You're working for a subcontractor. That way, there's no way anything you're doing ever gets back to the main umbrella corporation. And you do a contract thing, and you've got a bunch of NDAs, and they probably take your phone. And this is what, by the way, Eric Davis and Hal Puthoff, this is what these guys are doing and that did for their whole careers, and the other engineers and scientists. And they don't ever talk about that. They don't ever talk about that side of what they do. But they're essentially doing the same thing that Bob Lazar did. But they just never speak about it. And they've probably seen shit crazier than Bob Lazar saw. Several of them, Dave Rossi said he saw teleportation firsthand. It just gets ignored because people don't think it's possible. But you could imagine a small-scale version of the MH370 videos. You could easily set that up in one of these Department of Energy or Lockheed Martin labs.
Left and thought I did pretty well, and they contacted me and they said, actually, we have a different position that we think you'd even be better for. So I went back for another interview with them.
You were the perfect guy to take outside the box, sort of say, like not the by the book scientist type of guy.
I think they were just.
See, that's it right there. GSP gets it right. He's not a by-the-book science guy. If you're a by-the-book science guy, you're going to go, this is fake. This can't be real. Where's the trapdoor? Where's the trick? If you're an open-minded, high IQ futurist, like I know all of you are, you look at it and you go, how does that work? How do I know? Because you all did that with the MH370 videos. In fact, the MH370 videos are a great litmus test. If I pull these videos up and you say, oh, this is VFX, you don't see it. This is exactly the kind of person that the contractors are never going to hire. If you look at these videos and you go, huh, how does that work? That's the mind of the person the contractor wants to hire. That's who Lockheed Martin wants. Lockheed Martin, Northrop Grumman, they want the people that look at these videos and go, huh, I wonder how that works. The people that go, oh, that's CGI. Those people that have the mind block, that can't see reality, those are the people that will never see it. And that's the reason why we don't have disclosure right now. Because most people have the mind block right now. Most people, they're only living within the small reality that they've created in their mind. They haven't seen the larger world, which is staring them right in the face.
They were looking for somebody like that.
How did they contact you? They give you a call?
Yeah, they gave me a call.
And what happened? You go for an interview first?
Yeah, I had 2 interviews, and then they called me and said, yeah, you've got the job. This is out in a remote area of the desert, so you have to fly out there, go to McCarran Airport. So I left from there.
Yeah, let's get back a
No
little bit.
idea that it was a technology that was, not made from human at that time.
I thought it was just some research project, and we're working on some new I thought it was satellite propulsion.
So that happened the first day. You go back home.
Oh, and he probably said it. I skipped it, I think. But apparently he thought he was going to go for just like a normal project. And then they say, oh, no, we got a different thing for you. So after his interviews, they say, we got a special thing for you. So he goes through 1 or 2 interviews, and then they decide, oh, we're gonna send this guy to S4. We're gonna put this guy on the special team that looks at the UFO shit, right? Maybe they have psychologically analyzed him and decided he's a low risk of, freaking out. Because that's the number one risk they have is you're going to show somebody some alien UFO technology. They're going to freak out, man. And Bob Lazar did freak out, actually. He clearly freaked out. He saw this stuff and was like, what's going on? And he went to George Knapp and he went to the news. It's exactly what you're not supposed to do when you do all this secret crap.
And how long it take?
I don't remember.
Yeah,
it wasn't the next day, but it was a short time.
Yeah.
And I went back, and that time I landed. I didn't go into the building. There was a bus waiting there, and my supervisor, Dennis, he got in the bus with me, and we drove south probably about it. There's a security guard in there, and that's when we had learned to use the hand scanner. It just
So I
shined.
think this hand scanner thing is also super credible. Why? Because it turned out this hand scanner thing is true. 100% true. And now I want to listen to this part because we need to understand how they compartmentalize this. How do they hide this? How do they prevent leaks from getting out? Everybody says this would leak out. Oh, yeah? Listen to what Bob Lazar says right now.
It's a very bright light, and it measures the bones in your hand, which are apparently unique to everybody.
Yeah.
I mean, you think it would look at fingerprints, but no, it wasn't that advanced. Then it was just looking at the length of your bones.
Number one, we had bone length scanners. Why? Because that was a unique identifier. We were trying to make sure there weren't weird clone people or people that were, wearing masks or other spies that are coming into these facilities. So we had unique bone scanners that nobody in the world even knew existed. And Bob Lazar revealed this, and it turns out they're actually true. This was before we had fingerprint scanning, apparently.
There was a slot in it. So once it identified you, your badge would pop up out of the slot, and it had a magnetic stripe on it. So that's when you swiped it.
You have access.
Yeah, and every single door, everywhere to go into, even the bathroom. So that way they accumulate all that data, and they know when you went from one room to the next, how long you were in the bathroom. They kept close eyes on everybody. The second day,
So did you hear what he just said right there? You scan your hand, they do a unique identifier, and then they give you a card. They give you a card with your name on it, and this is your temporary ID card for that day only, and every single room you go in, you need to swipe it. Why? Very easy to know why. Because every time you swipe it, that's a data element, and they're tracking the time you went into that room. Why? Because if any information leaks out of the facility, they're going to check every single person, and they're going to find out how long you were in every single room, and they're going to use that to identify the person that leaked the information. That's exactly why. And this is exactly why there's no way Edward Lin could get away with leaking those videos. The moment they saw the MH370 videos on the internet, all they had to do was reverse engineer and find out. They could figure out by deduction who the guy was that leaked the videos. Now, it probably was difficult, especially if you had a laptop off the internet, but they're going to be able to figure it out with a high degree of probability. Wow. So that's highly credible to me because that's definitely how it works. And I don't know how you could make up something like that unless you were actually in there and you saw it, right? So when the people say Bob Lazar is making this up, how did he come up with the hand scanner thing that's clearly true, clearly real?
I know I went to the nurse to check me out, and then also had briefings. I don't think I met Barry, my lab partner, that day.
Okay.
I think that wasn't until the third time.
And did you have time to read the entire briefing or document or
No, I didn't.
Okay, were you able to bring it home with you?
No.
Okay, so it was sort of homework to do on site on.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think they just sat me there because it was the whole thing. But when
what
by 15 inches, maybe about an inch thick, with a hemisphere on it, half a basketball.
Yeah,
that encompassed the whole thing. But when he powered it up, it produces a gravitational field, something that we don't have any machine that can make gravity adjust it properly.
I keep thinking about this dome device that Bob Lazar talks about right here that produces this anti-gravitational field. This must be some type of SU2 conditioned electromagnetic field being produced. Right? That's what they're talking about here. Talking about the Terrence Barrett. They're talking about the Tom Beardens of the world, the scalar physics. Is that they showed him a device that they had created, a modified electromagnetic beam that was producing a gravitational field. Now, the other thing this reminds me of is the condensed charge clusters by Ken Shoulders, because that might be a mechanism by which we are getting some sort of screening effect, gravitational screening effect, due to the electron clusters. The electron clusters that should not be able to cluster together due to the repulsion, suddenly, due to whatever it is that Ken Shoulders was doing in his EVs, they're allowed to cluster together. Possibly the very same physics.
Make it matter. But when he energized it, he said, try and touch it. And I couldn't. I pushed my hands back. So that was the first time that I realized this is technology that we don't have. That same.
And it's interesting. Notice the interpretations. Take out the facts, separate the facts and the evidence. Let's assume what he's saying is true. Separate the evidence and the facts from the interpretation. And do this with Dylan Borland as well. Notice they all do the same thing. They say, I saw this crazy technology. I saw it with my own eyes. It's undeniable. But then they say, we don't have that technology. We don't have that technology. That technology doesn't exist. Therefore, it's aliens. I feel like you're missing another very, very likely possibility. You might not know all the technology we have. Maybe we have technology that the public is not aware of. Wouldn't that explain why you're being shown an anti-gravity device in a government facility? I mean, how are these people serious? None of these people saw any aliens ever, but their minds immediately go to aliens the moment they see technology that's not public. That's crazy to me.
Thing occurred the time that I got to what.
And by the way, again, I'm going to keep saying this. I'm fine with aliens existing, but I'm highly skeptical when I hear these kinds of stories, because I'm starting to realize that it seems like all the alien stuff is basically a mythology that's been added on by people not being able to explain technology. And until that changes, that's why I say, until you show me the alien body, this is all government technology. Until you show me the alien body, this is government technology. We have no reason to believe that it's alien technology. There's no secret alien physics. Anything that aliens understand, we can understand too.
The craft being tested, or it was just hovering above the ground, Dennis instructed me to walk out underneath it. Now, normally, I would be squished. I would be crushed because of the weight on the craft.
Yeah, you would think that
transferring it to the ground.
Yeah, you could pass your arm underneath.
They're very inquisitive. They'll, oh, it's drive it again. And when it comes right down to it, they can't even make the dashboard. It's plastic. I mean, there's nothing. So that's kind of where we are. There's this amazing machine made out of material that we're completely unfamiliar with, that has properties we've never seen before.
And this is where Bob Lazar is kind of saying, like, we can't understand this technology. Everybody has this idea that we must have found alien craft because it's using alien physics. It's doing things we can't understand. It's materials we can't understand. Have you guys seen the Lockheed Martin video? I'm going to play this. I was showing this. I posted this on my Twitter earlier because I need people to remember, like, we have stuff far beyond what people understand. Here you go. I think, is it this one?
It's like embed the carbon nanotubes to make conductive structure so that information doesn't flow through a wire next to a structure, but literally flows through the structure.
We'll be able to grow or make a structure that, say, is the skin of an aircraft, that inside of that is also contained the sensors or the energy storage or many different multiple functions.
Dude, that's Charles Chase, bro. That's the director of the Lockheed Martin Revolutionary Technologies Division that built a compact fusion reactor. That's the BPTG, chat, right there on your screen, saying that we're going to build our batteries and our sensors into the skin of our aircraft. And our aircraft, our skin is going to be able to change on demand. And you're telling me that, whoa, we don't know about these alien physics. We don't know about these secret technologies and metamaterials. We can't understand these. I guarantee you Charles Chase would beg to differ. I guarantee you Charles Chase would beg to differ on the secret alien technologies, chat. In fact, I really want to know what Charles Chase's opinion is on aliens, because I think that would be the most revealing opinion. We watch all these podcasts with all these people that like don't know how physics works and they're convinced that aliens are coming to invade. How about we do a podcast where we talk to one of the actual Black Project engineers who's definitely built some magical orbs for the government, and let's ask him if he thinks the aliens are real. Because that guy will be able to tell you whether or not the orbs are human technology or alien technology. Just saying. Charles Chase, by the way, I love Charles Chase. I have absolutely nothing against him. I don't want the CIA to kill him or anything like that. So, guys, be nice. Be nice to the goats, chat.
Is a power source we have no information on. Yeah, we can turn it on. We can make it work. But at that time, that was it.
Would be like this.
He also mentioned just there the power source. Yeah. Yeah, what's the damn power source? You got anti-gravity machine? So did you just come up with a free energy machine too? How does that work? What's the coefficient of performance on an anti-gravity machine? Do we even know how much energy is it even input to get how much energy output? What happens if the coefficient of performance on your anti-gravity machine is over 1? What happens when free energy is suddenly real because negative energy is now real? Here's some hard questions.
A nuclear reactor, well, before you even understand the concept of radioactive stuff, right?
Yeah. That's why it's so scary. We don't know what's going on in there. Just like a reactor, you take it apart and you don't see anything, but you just die from the radiation. And who knows what properties this thing has.
When is the first time that you were given access to the actual craft?
One of the days
So he's going to bring up the story here, which is pretty interesting. But before that, someone brought a good point up. They say Bob Lazar was classically educated by UCLA, so even he doesn't understand free energy. Even he doesn't understand the idea of the ether. This is why Bob Lazar doesn't believe in 0-point energy. They didn't teach 0-point energy. They didn't teach it. So he knew that this thing was, using physics beyond conventional understanding, but he didn't realize that this was something that we could possibly understand.
Driven in on the bus, and instead of going around the building, we stopped right out in front, and the hangar door was open for the first time. And I could see the craft in there. That was the first time I touched the craft, that I saw it. It might have been the following time I was there that we were working in the lab. The lab had a door that connected right to the big hangar. There was a time Barry and I were working, and Dennis came in and said, we're going to do a test flight. Why don't you guys come in? So I went into the hangar. That's when I saw that there were other craft there, because the bay doors between the hangars were...
Okay, so we know his story. He saw a bunch of crafts. Then I think he tells the story here about how he took his one guy out there to go check it out.
It operate maybe on a greater scan,
or maybe they just had the craft and found out how to activate the delta mode and watched the emitters go together.
Oh, okay. I want to actually listen to this part. Here we go.
The three...
My bad. Here we go, guys. This is the part I wanted.
Kind of the opposite of the way we propel things.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of throwing something out the back, hot gases or a propeller, moving air and pushing it forward, they create a distortion in front of the craft, and it just slides into it. And
this is what's crazy. This is actually how it works. He's right. So this tells me he definitely saw it with his eyes. How do I know? Bob Lazar definitely saw this technology with his own eyes. I know for sure because he doesn't understand the physics. He actually can't explain it from a physics perspective. He can only explain it from what he saw visual perspective. He's like, they're using these gravity beams, and they're creating a situation in which the object is falling it forward. Does that sound familiar? That's exactly what Salvatore Pais's high-frequency gravitational wave patent says. It says you create a conditioned field and the object just falls forward into it. That's why there's no inertia. They're creating a geodesic. They're creating a gravitational path where the object is just falling forward, and falling forward is whatever direction they want to go. That's anti-gravity.
The delta configuration, we assume, is used out in free space. The craft will do a belly roll. It'll go up on its side. The 3 emitters will focus into a point. They'll come up to power. The craft will slingshot in that direction.
I mean, 3 emitters have to power up, and then they have to focus onto a point, and they'll slingshot it to that direction. That's how it works. How do we know? Well, we've seen it too, Bob. We've seen it too, Bob. We've seen the 3 emitters spinning around the plane, and then they collapse on the plane, and then the plane slingshots away. In fact, if you read Musha's warp drive paper, he shows the math for how you can figure out how far the object gets slingshotted. It's based on the input energy, because apparently when you exceed the speed of light, it's like a tachyon, and tachyons are unstable, so they fall apart. So after some period of time, you just fall out of hyperspace, according to Musha, at least. So actually, this is how it really works. So why do I believe Bob Lazar? Because either he accidentally guessed everything correctly, or he just really saw it. We're watching it happen to a plane. This is why it's so crazy. These people don't believe the videos are real. They're not like huge advocates. Like, dude, those MH370 videos prove you're not a liar. They prove there really is a government program exactly like you described.
And if you look at the gimbal, the video that have been declassified and released by the Pentagon, that exactly how it flies.
Bro, how about the MH370? You just said there's 3 gravity emitters. I got 3 orbs spinning around. This is garbage now to me. This is trash now to me. This is Wood League UFO. Oh, no. You got a shadowy object rotating? Oh, wow, chat. Call up the New York Times. We can't beat shadowy object rotating. Bruh. How about I'll one-up you a little bit here. Here's 3 orbs spinning around a plane using the right-hand rule, teleporting it out of the sky with your gravity beams, whatever. There it is, right there. Crazy, man. And you wonder, like, for the people, I'm about to do a big show next week. We're going to be off next week, I think 1 or 2 days. And you look at this technology and you're like, how are the people not able to figure this out? You're looking at it right here on your screen. Notice the difference in the quality from this footage versus that Navy video they just showed. Imagine how good of videos they have if we have secret videos of us running operations, teleporting planes with plasma orbs from multiple angles. You're like, Ashton, that's not evidence. That's just some video games. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Here's a whole different angle of the whole thing, start to finish. Okay, man. Crazy, dog. Okay. Yes, this is really the same video. Unreal, man. There it is. Video games.
It's rotating.
Mostly the only the Omicron.
Yes.
How were you aware of the Delta and how the Delta operates?
Just from what Barry told me.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Barry saw it operate maybe on a greater scan.
Or maybe they just had the craft and found out how to activate the Delta mode and watched the emitters go together. That's just me guessing. I have no idea how he found out how that stuff worked.
UAP have been picked up in the air, in the water, in space. They call it transmedium.
Yeah. I can see the sport model being able to do that. Just, yeah, I don't think it could go through solid walls or anything, hard material.
You talk about a field around the craft when it flies. It's like it creates its own bubble.
Yeah, exactly.
This remind you of anything, guys? I seriously, how we not piece this together? That's the Alcubierre warp drive. How is it creating its own bubble? Well, they're creating SU2 conditioned fields, and they can create a gravitational field. They can create a gravitational bubble. That's no problem. We see it happening in the MH370 videos. So I don't know, what more do we need to point people like? Miguel Alcubierre's warp drive. You need negative energy, 0-point energy is right there. There's your answer. Did the lithium-ion batteries contribute? They could have. For a few weeks, I was all in on the lithium-ion batteries being part of a fusion bomb, but it's more likely the lithium-ion batteries were just a distraction, just to move the plane where they wanted it to go.
Exactly.
Do you know if it's the...
Which, by the way, I'm going to do another... By the way, I'm going to do another MH370 review because I know there's newer followers and they don't know the whole story of what happened with the plane. And now I've got a pretty good idea, so I can break it down. So we'll do one of those in the next few weeks.
Produce that bubble?
Well, the reactor produces it, and the amplifiers increase the intensity of it.
Now, here's another point. We've learned so much recently. He says they create this bubble, and the amplifiers, the gravity emitters amplify this effect. Isn't this exactly what Gary Stevenson was saying? This is exactly what Gary Stevenson was saying. He said, number one, increase the frequency. Why? Because when you increase the frequency, the stiffness of space-time, it gets softer. We just reviewed that on Monday. If you increase the frequency, the stress, the stiffness of space-time gets softer. So if you want to manipulate space-time, one thing you want to do is increase your frequency. Changes it by 18 orders of magnitude. 18 orders of magnitude, chat. The other way is you create an array. Gary Stevenson created a cross array so that each hop is exactly one wavelength. Why? Because this amplifies the effects. So no wonder geometry, triangle formations are important because they're amplifying the effects.
Theoretically speaking, it could go like to an incredible speed, make a 90-degree turn, and you don't feel the effect of...
Yeah, it cancels out inertia. You wouldn't go flying against the wall. Yeah, it would be fantastic to know the rest of the science behind this.
Yeah.
And this is where he didn't do any research. I mean, it only took us 2 years to figure everything out. Everything. At this point, we figured out all the science, and now we're just trying to figure out who's responsible and who's been hiding it for the longest period of time. He says it right there, it cancels out inertia. The reason why your object the people inside your object don't melt is because inertia is being canceled out. Well, we know how. Ruda, Haish, and Pudov. They said 0-point energy. If you shield the 0-point energy, then you shield gravity. You shield inertia. Now your object's just a bubble. It's just a bubble floating around, and everybody inside is totally fine. You can move whatever direction you want. It makes no difference.
For sure. I want to start to talk about when things start to go south.
At the time, I was gone so much. I got my wife flying instructions.
Yeah.
So she was spending a lot of time with the flight instructor. Anyway, she wound up having an affair with the flight instructor. And because they were monitoring phone lines and looking at, my home life, they knew about that and I didn't. One of the things...
Bro, what? Because they were monitoring my phone lines and my home life, they knew about that and I didn't. Yes. Shameless hoe. By the way, chat, we're switching gears here. That was the perfect segue. I forgot to play this earlier. Your moment of Zen is coming early tonight, chat. This is literally my favorite video on the internet right now. We'll come back to that. This is what happens, chat. Never trust a hoe, chat. Never trust a hoe. Here you go. Just big facts. Get ready. This is a truth nuke. Truth nuke is about to be deployed upon you.
Maybe God won't give me a wife because I don't keep anything. Or even if I get married, what kind of a girl will I get? Not modest, not Shomer Shabbat, all day lies, all day texting with guys.
Chat. All day Shomer Shabbat, chat. All day texting with guys. This is what happened to Bob Lazar, chat. He trusted a hoe. This was the problem, chat. What kind of wife would he get?
What kind of a wife, what kind of a mother I will have? I'm not interested to be religious, but I don't have a choice. If I stay the same bum I am in the clubs of Manhattan, smoking grass all day, walking like a goy everywhere I go.
Chat. Wow. How do I sign up? I don't know. I'm on whatever religion this guy is. I'm on board. I guess I'm Jewish now, chat. There it is. What kind of life would I live? Going to the clubs of Manhattan, smoking the grass all day, walking like the goy. Chat, exactly. Please. This is what happened to Bob Lazar. He's just walking around like a stupid goy. His wife's cheating on him with the instructor. The government is watching, and they were like, nope, we're pulling the plug. Sorry, you're walking too much like a goy. Please repeat it one more time. Too funny for me.
I am in the clubs of Manhattan, smoking grass all day, walking like a goy everywhere I go. What kind of a girl will I get? The worst of the worst. It will always end very bad because there's zero values, zero modesty, zero holiness, the house is completely impure. She drives him crazy, he drives her crazy, he goes out with his friend. She goes out with her friend. Hashem Yerachem, what kind of a house is this? Maybe God won't.
Shahai Mahaim, what kind of house is this? Exactly, bro. I know what you're saying about the jelly, bro. In fact, I'm about to become full-on Volcel, chat. I am going to adopt the incel lifestyle, even though I'm not one of them, even though I was not raised in the darkness as one of them. This video has changed me. Candace Owens has changed me. That crazy girl with the tattoos talking about Charlie Kirk killed everybody and the data centers are using up all the good waters. It's changed me, chat. I'm cutting women out of my life. It's simple. Otherwise, I'm going to be a goy walker. I can't be a goy walker, chat. I have to teach people the ways of the 0 point energy. I cannot be distracted by the foids, chat. I think that's what we call them, the foids. Anyway, this guy, straight up legend. This should go viral. My goodness. Okay. Sorry. We got distracted. We got distracted by the beautiful celebrities. Back to the task at hand. So Bob Lazar messed up. He messed up. He was walking like a goy and his wife cheated on him. What happened then?
Things with high security positions, aside from the fact that you can't have any connection to foreign countries, you have to have a stable home life too. You can't come from a it's a situation of turmoil.
Be emotionally.
Oh boy, chat. Okay. I get it, CIA. Now I see why the CIA didn't invite me, chat. Now it makes sense. Ashton can't have the vol cells joint helping out the CIA. Ashton's janky home life, living with his dog. They said, nah, sorry, can't trust Ashton Forbes. He's too much of an internet troll. Sorry, he drops the truth nukes a little too hard on the internet. Okay, you know what? That's fine. I see how it is, CIA. I'm a brand risk. I accept it. I know it. I'm trying to reform my ways. Wow.
Unstable because you might
exactly.
leak.
So they knew that was going on, so that then they started holding off calling.
Okay.
Because I had the test.
So anyway, I don't know what that was all about. Moving on. This guy actually watches. He has a witness too. He shows somebody these flying saucers.
Flight schedule. I said, come on. I brought him and another friend out there. If I recall, it was 8 o'clock. Then we went right in the spot, and 8 o'clock, it comes up, and my friend brought his big Celestron telescope to it.
It was dark. It was at night.
It was dark.
It came up above the same mountain. It moved around. It did a step move. It actually went up in the air like this and hovered, then dropped way down. Then it just floated around and cruised around, and then it started coming up the mountain range.
Wait, there's a video. There's video of it. They've got video and they've got a witness. Gene Huff. I never even seen that guy, Gene Huff. That's his friend. That's Bob Lazar's friend. So they have Bob Lazar's friend come out and say, yeah, he showed me this crazy thing at 2 in the morning. 2 in the morning. He knows when the test flight's out. He's like, hey, come out here at 2 in the morning and check out this UFO. And then they see some crazy shit flying around the sky at 2 in the morning. I mean, that's pretty credible to me. How are people just ignoring this? What do they say about this Gene Huff guy? They say he's an actor or something?
Wow, look how bright it's getting. Look at it now.
Through the telescope, we had
Oh
seen.
no,
it
this
was
is not 2 in the morning. This is 8 at night. Sorry, I mean it's got literally the time just like right there. Not 2 in the morning.
elliptically shaped light. You know, that's about, because you can only get so close, even with a telescope, to a secure facility. Anyway, it came by up by us very rapidly. It glowed and glowed brighter like a sun, and we almost got the feeling it was going to explode. It glowed so bright, and we backed up behind the car. Then it went down. It glowed back up a little bit, and very softly glided back over back where the mountains where it came up, hovered for a while, and then just sat down, just like you see in the movies.
I see no reason why this couldn't happen. People would be like, well, people would see it. And they're like, no, people are seeing it. People are seeing it and recording it. The problem was that it was like the 90s or the 80s. I forget when that was. And the cameras are super low quality. You're not going to be able to see something with good quality. You could fly it over a military base. No one's going to see it. It's going to be tiny. It's going to be metallic. All you're going to see is like a shiny light.
The reason why you saw the sorcerer is because it was emitting light.
It did light up, but with the telescope, you can clearly see the disc in there that was glowing. So
and there's footage of it. That,
they were
filmed.
very excited, to see that and like, holy cow, you're not kidding. And we went home and talked about it. And I said, so that's what I'm doing. They're not calling me anymore. So if anything goes wrong, the television. And then one of them dropped the night vision scope. And it's hitting there, and a green light just falls down and starts rolling towards us. And everybody just became paralyzed and said, "What the hell is that?" And they realized they dropped it, and they turned the lights on, and they saw the guys there. And
did you have a getaway plan, like an escape plan of in case something like that happened? Or
yeah. I mean, I don't remember exactly how this went, but it's at some point. I took off into the desert because
okay, I don't know about this weird story, and I don't really care. Let's skip ahead. I want to let's finish this up with Congress and disclosure. I want to know Bob Lazar's opinion on all this disclosure stuff that's happening out there. I think I've got a very good read on Bob Lazar and what his belief system is about this technology. So I wonder what his opinion is on all these UFO people that are out there. My guess, if I was him, is I would say he's probably skeptical of a lot of these people. Some of them are grifters, we know for sure, taking advantage of him.
No.
A lot of people wonder, because we see a lot of whistleblower testify to Congress. Would you ever testify to Congress if you're asked to?
Why?
What are the advantage and disadvantage? Why yes, why not?
I don't think it's useful at all for anyone to be testifying to Congress. What do you expect them to do? At one time I considered that, but what are they going to go up with a subpoena and drive up in a Jeep, an S4, and going, you guys better tell us what's going on?
Yeah.
If they're going to do that, they need to make it pay-per-view.
Wow. That's a great take. It actually makes Bob Lazar even more credible. Why? Because he's not out there for self-interest or self-glory. If you're out there for self-glory, you say, put me in front of Congress. I need to be in front of Congress to tell my story. But the reality is he's already told his story. He's told his story to everybody on the biggest podcast everywhere. What more do you want people to do with it? What can they do with it? The story is 30 years old. Even if it was true, they've had more than enough time to move everything away to other locations. Having Bob Lazar testify is not going to accomplish anything. In fact, even having me testify about MH370, the only reason why it would be beneficial is because most of Congress has no damn idea what we did to that plane, and they don't know anything about the story. You'd say, Ashton, you've gone on 100 podcasts, you've done all this stuff. Yeah, well, nobody listens. So the only reason why I should testify to Congress is because Congress is a bunch of retards, and most of them haven't listened to a single word I've said. So that's why.
But I don't know. I don't ever think they're just going to release everything to people.
Yeah.
And also, he's right. They're not going to release all this stuff. They're probably not going to release basically anything. We're probably going to get a new cache of UFO files either this Friday or next Friday. There's another one coming. We know because Dr. Phil said so. So we know there's another cache. This is all being controlled, this disclosure. And I think Bob Lazar realizes, he says, guys, this is a big secret. They were like destroying his life over this. They pretty much destroyed his life for the next 30 years, for the last 30 years over this. They're not going to reveal this technology. They're not going to reveal this secret. This is the most closely guarded secret they have.
Yeah. Although, I guess I guess it's possible I might at some point consider that, but I don't see a reason to do it.
I've noticed that you a little bit change your mind over the year. Like at first you wanted to disclose everything, and now you're more reluctant.
The older you get, it's kind of, I put my time in.
Yes.
There's as far as, talking to Congress, yes, I swear I testify everything I've said to the best of my knowledge is exactly what I've represented. Everything in the movie is exactly the way it was.
Yeah.
And I'll stand behind that.
I want to know.
Interesting perspective there too. He's like, look, I did what I needed to do. And he's right. Bob Lazar has done more than enough. No one should expect more out of him. I don't even really need to interview him because I've already heard the story over and over and over again. If I had an interview with him, it would be more on like, I'd want to push on 0 point energy and be like, hey man, this is the answer. How'd you not see it? That's the more interesting conversation at this point. But he's put his time in. He says, look, I've done enough. I don't need to do anymore. And he's absolutely right on that. Plus, with respect to Bob Lazar, and I have the utmost respect to Bob Lazar, this is old news, man. This story is old. This is 30 years ago. He's still talking about flying saucers. We're now talking about plasma orbs of energy. We're talking about field reverse configuration. We're talking about compact fusion reactors now. I strongly believe that we moved away from flying saucers because we figured out topological physics. We figured out plasma, magnetohydrodynamics using plasma. And that made the old flying saucers relatively obsolete. Not irrelevant, but compared to the new technology.
If you were giving an opportunity to be rehired to work on a program of back engineering UAP, would you go? Like, you're not allowed to talk about it, but you're giving an opportunity.
I like this question. This is basically the same question that Joe Rogan asked him. This is my favorite question to ask these guys. If you were given another opportunity, would you reveal it? I think he's going to say he would not reveal it. That if he was given another opportunity, he would absolutely work on the technology. It's a magical technology. And he would not reveal it. And that's going to be the biggest takeaway. I haven't even watched this part of the interview, so I don't know. But that's the biggest part of the takeaway because it tells us why they're able to keep it hidden. Because they created this brotherhood of people to get to know about magical technology the rest of the world doesn't know about. And therefore, they don't want to reveal it. They want to keep it secret. Plus, they feel smarter than everybody else. Smarter than the Goy Walkers, chat. The Goy Walkers. That's my new term.
To work on exotic material.
Well, I'm looking at the practical aspects. You mean I have to go out to Nevada? No, if I could stay here and they say I could work from home, I'm 100%.
Yes, Bob, thank you for sharing your story. You don't give a lot.
Exactly. So I think that's the end of it. I'm just going to assume it's the end. 100%, he says. If I didn't have to go fly to, Vegas or whatever and go work there, which of course today is the day of the remote working, then he would immediately work on it. And that's the answer. That's the secret. How have they been able to keep it hidden? Because the people that get to work on it, they're privileged. Bob Lazar was privileged. He met Edward Teller. And you might say there's no way he just walked up to Edward Teller. I guarantee you there is. I go check out the STAFE conferences. These are not places where there's groupies hanging around the physicists. You can walk up to whatever physicist you want and you can go talk to them. right? Like that's the beauty of this, is that these guys aren't considered celebrities because no one knows who they are, but they're working on the scariest, most secret stuff there is. So I absolutely believe that he ran into Edward Teller, and that's how he got the connection to EG&G. And that's how he ended up seeing the super secret technology. Okay, guys, hope you guys enjoyed the live stream tonight and the review of Edward Teller, the review of some of our whistleblowers, including Dylan Borland, the comments about Salvatore Pais, which I thought were interesting in his patents, and the challenge to Lue Elizondo. Lue Elizondo is definitely not going to respond, even though he's been offered $2,000 to come on my show. And let's just be honest, I think he probably needs the money. These guys really, it actually seems like all these guys weirdly are all like desperate and broke for money too, which doesn't add to their credibility. It makes it seem like they're more desperate, in my opinion. Anyway, let's go to the super chats. Pilled chat. Thank you, everybody in the Pilled chat. TSC90, nice to see you. Matt1776, he says, is Disclosure Day coming? And he also asked, did you watch the Bob Lazar S4 documentary, Dreamland? I don't think, if that's the new one, I don't think I saw the new documentary. I've seen the old Bob Lazar documentaries. I was already convinced. And honestly, this interview is enough for me, is that I'm good enough at reading liars that I can tell that Bob Lazar is not lying. And when he says at the end, I testify that this is all what I did and that, you know, this is best of my knowledge, this is all true, I can tell he's not making that up. You know, so if people want to not believe, that's another, to me, this is the first litmus test. If you can't tell that Bob Lazar is not making this story up, then you're never going to see the truth about UFOs. You're never going to see that there's an extra dimension. You're never going to see that we have time-space manipulation technology, because your worldview doesn't allow for those things. To me, Bob Lazar, I mean, he's extremely credible in what he says there. Rumble chat. Shout out to my Rumble chat. A Dutch Rumbler. SM Ashbaz. Nice to see you guys. Just to give you guys a shout out. Murph0907. K Sierra. Nice to see you, brother. Laughing Cat and Double M's. All the Rumble fam up there tonight. Appreciate y'all. Let's go to our super chats. Voice for good. We're trying to be a voice for good. We're doing our best, chat. Have you noticed no swear words, basically, the last few live streams? I'm a reformed man, chat. I'm a different person. I think they cloned me. It's a different Ashton. Are my ears all the same shape, chat? Double check. Double check. Make sure my hairline's still there. Could be a clone. Maybe they're not going to give me a ScarJo clone. Maybe they're just going to clone me. Replacement Ashton. Top Goy Ashton, chat. Maybe they're right about me. Chaotic Good says, I love the new intro. Yeah, it's decent. We may have to mess with the music, though. I can't decide. I appreciate you for it. Chaotic Good's the one that set up that intro at the Carl Sagan. I got like 40 of my live streams striked. Had to edit them. So, yeah, we had to change that one out. Recon Ranch. Thank you very much, good sir. War Ranch LLC says, congrats on the 100K. Thank you guys so much for 100,000 followers. Feels like a dream. Feels impossible. We have 700 people listening to this tonight. So what I'll say, the most important thing, there is an extra dimension. 0-point energy is the answer. Every single atom is only stable because it's pulling energy from the 0-point energy field, which means there is an extra source of energy, an ocean of energy, a Dirac sea of energy all around us. This is the secret to UFOs. This is why it's possible for UFOs to fly. This is where negative energy becomes real. John Archibald Wheeler coined the term Kugelblitz. Not exactly, but we're calling it Kugelblitz. Ball lightning. He Kugelblitzed the shit out of it because we can Kugelblitz a whole bunch of light into a ball and we can make a black hole. Turns out, though, it doesn't get you squished. It just maybe teleports you. Pretty neat. Voice for Good says, I'll add $239 to the Lue Apology Fund. Chat, $2,239, Lue Elizondo. It's right there, buddy. You're the one that issued the challenge. Challenge accepted. We're here. We're out here, guys. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Mick Leonard, JD, says, for Lulu, crazy stuff at Pax River. We might have to do a separate deep dive into Pax River. I'm going to have to think of some good questions to ask Salvatore Pais on Sunday that aren't going to get us killed and or thrown in jail. That'll be great. So I got to work on that this weekend, guys. So once again, guys, Sunday, 3:30 p.m. Eastern time, the live stream with Salvatore Pais. We're going to address the Congressman Burleson comments, the Jesse Michaels stuff, etc. Eddie from Outer Space says they won't talk to you because they just want to take all the credit. I don't think this is about credit necessarily. And I'm not sure I fully agree with Eric Weinstein stealing the credit from Dave Rossi. I saw that clip going around from the interview. I think people are reading a little bit too much into it. That was just Dave's interpretation of the events. I don't think it's about credit. I think it's actually more about denial. I think it's actually more about denial in the psychological block where they just can't see it. But I do think there's a possibility that Eric Weinstein has been directed to like make content about this to push this paradigm into the public consciousness. I think that's very possible, especially because he admitted the government came and talked to him about this. And he's kind of been weird about it ever since. So, Depot Dog 295th says the G engine is coming. Wasn't that the 1958 article? The G engine is coming. Could be wrong. I'm pretty sure. Oh, 1956. Pretty close, chat. Pretty close. 1956. The G engine is coming. Here you go. November 1956 of Young Men. There it is. There it is right there. Thank you very much for that super chat. We appreciate you. Jaleel Robinson with the super sticker. Thank you very much, Jaleel. Chaotic Good says a lot of the OG people in the Manhattan Project didn't want to be rolled out for widespread use or stolen by a foreign government and used to hold the world hostage. Now, chat, this is my most egotistical comment of the night. I have several, but this is the most one, is that this actually concerns me. Is the more I learn about this, the more I educate about this, the more I put a target on my own back. Because you can imagine some desperate third world country that's like, hey, we can't get Oak Shannon, but we can kidnap this guy, Ashton Forbes. Maybe he knows some shit about Zero Point. Be like, bro, I don't build anything. I just look. I tell everything I know. I'm just telling you publicly. No need to kidnap me. Chill out, China. Chill out, Russia. Chill out, North Korea. I'm not Iron Man. I'm not going to build you an Iron Man suit. Okay? So secretly, a little bit, I do get concerned about that, where I'm like, at some point, am I learning enough to put a target on my own back? Because you're right. This is a very serious concern. And this is why I don't like to talk about some of the Black Project engineers that I like a lot, because I don't want to put a target on their back either. I don't want to put it, because those are the guys that really should be, they should be high on the kidnapping list. The General McCaslins of the world, for example. Voice for Good. By the way, General McCaslin, still missing. There's a general that upgraded our nuclear weapons, still missing. Missing for like 5 months. No one seems to care. The FBI won't give any updates. They didn't reveal any photos of him. We had to get a FOIA request to get a photo of him revealed. Totally normal. Normal stuff, guys. Voice for Good says 30-year wireless body area network, no human disappearance. I don't know what that means, but thank you very much. Appreciate that, Dono. Jay Florek says, Ashton, when I first saw those videos, I knew right away this was an actual military operation. Yes, and Chris Leto knew right away as well. He saw that and he looked like, it says, it looks like they're painting the plane. Is this an operation? And at that time, my mind was not even thinking about military operations. But now in retrospect, in hindsight, we know for sure that's definitely an operation. And that's how we know these people know about it. You think that these intelligence community people, these military people, you think they don't know what an operation looks like? Yeah, that's an operation for sure. Thank you very much for that, Dono. Zapparoo Zapparias. Bob Lazar's original video when he first came was made for Congress. Do you notice a similarity between Bob Lazar and myself? I wrote the letter to Congress, and I spent like $200 printing out like 40 letters to Congress and mailing them all to different Congress people. Not one responded. Not a single person even addressed any of the letters. It was like a 3-page letter that explained everything we did in the operation, the technology. Not one responded. What you realize, and I'm sure Bob Lazar realized it, is that we're up against a machine that is far more powerful than any one of us. Far more powerful. This machine controls the perception of reality. This machine controls who's allowed to have a platform and who's not. And the only reason why I have any platform right now is because this was a grassroots movement on all alternative media. I have never been on any mainstream media ever before, and yet still grew to this level, despite being blackballed by huge podcasts, all mainstream media, and every top UFOologist. Think about that. It's impressive. Timothy Foster, and by the way, it's all thanks to you guys. Are these super chats increasing exponentially? What's going on here? Timothy Foster, engineering the box out, ZPE, pinch, twist, magnetic mirror, all human abilities. Just the facts. This is probably the most important super chat. Why? All these concepts, zero point energy, pinch, twist, magnetic mirror, these are all things the Department of Energy was working on. These aren't alien physics. They seems alien to people that don't understand physics, people that don't research physics, but the people that are in the Department of Energy, this is why there's all this shadiness. Why all the secrecy? Because this is all about advanced technology. This is all about nuclear weapons and nuclear technology and the advancement of nuclear technology. It's not about aliens. Aliens wouldn't cause this sort of response. That's what people need to realize. And there is no alien physics. That's what you need to know for sure. Zapparoo again, coming back. Fantastic, Ashton. No Goyim in this chat. Only high IQ futurists. Love to Lulu. Love from the Zaps. Thank you guys for that double super chat. BC Warex, $50 super chat. Whoa. Should I watch Disclosure? I haven't even seen Disclosure Day, chat. I don't watch the slop movies, chat. I haven't seen the Spider-Man. I haven't seen the Odyssey. I haven't seen Disclosure Day. Disclosure Day is probably going to be terrible, guys. I'm going to tell you, I think I heard that there's like some part where the aliens get revealed and they all cry at the end. They all have a big cry. You can pretty much, and Matt, please, when you're watching the movie and you get to the end and all the woke disclosure people start crying for the aliens, I want you to think of me. I want you to think of me and my pure disdain for all the people that made that movie and all the people that think that that's how it's going to play out. Just imagine me, chat. That'll bring you back down to earth. Thank you very much, BC Warwick, for that huge super chat. Stojan, I have to disagree, Ashton, regarding the Bob Lazar ship. It's far superior to the MH370 tech. The Orb's amplifier built into the ship. Maybe, I don't know. Is it really a matter of superior or not superior? I mean, you got anti-gravity technology. To me, any anti-gravity technology is like a whole nother echelon beyond where we're at. You're like, oh, your anti-gravity technology is weaker than my anti-gravity technology. It's like, but you're still defying gravity, right? Like, hey, man, anybody that can teleport and rip a hole in space-time, you know what? Gold star. Why? We don't need to compete. We don't need to compete. You're all amazing. You're all amazing. So maybe Stojan, maybe, not sure. Appreciate you, brother. Depot Dog says, check out my comments about General McCaslin in your previous post. I think you'll find it very interesting. Okay. The vague post champion right here. We'll have to check that out, guys. Somebody post in the Discord. I'm lazy and I'm tired and I've been working all day. Charlie Gentry, thank you for your hard work, Grandpa. Thank you, grandson. I appreciate you. Goyam Grandpa. The Goyam Grandpa, guys. Okay. That's it for tonight, guys. Appreciate y'all. We will most likely be back on Friday. There is a small chance. Hey, Minnesota girl. I like Minnesota. There's a small chance we won't be because I've got a lot of things to record. We're going to have Gabe Diaz. I'm getting back in touch with Tom Vallone to get that recorded. And then we've got Salvatore Pais on Sunday. And I've got a lot of work stuff going on too. So appreciate you guys. We'll be back as soon as we can be back. Have a great night, MH370X. I love all of you. Later.
In the fields where the skies are wide, talking about a journey through the cosmic ride. Einstein and Thorne, they set the stage for a trip through time across the space age. Wormholes connect distant points in space, traversable paths to a far-off place. No black holes pull, no crushing weight, just a cosmic tunnel to a distant gate. Talking wormholes, stargates, negative energy, travel through the cosmos, it's our destiny. MH370, where did it go? Borland 777. 7 through a wormhole flow. We're talking wormholes, stargates, negative energy. Travel through the cosmos, it's our destiny. MH370, where did it go? Boeing 777 through a wormhole flow. Exotic matter, negative energy's the key to stabilize the wormhole for you and me. Quantum vacuum squeezed so tight, creating conditions for this wondrous flight. Static fields and lasers in the lab they play, generating forces in a new kind of way. Gravitational squeezing, Casimir's force, negative zones we need to stay the course. Talking wormholes, stargates, negative energy. Travel through the cosmos, it's our destiny. MH370, where did it go? Boeing 777 through a wormhole flow. Thin shell formalism, plates so fine. Spherical geometry we realign. Energy conditions that we must defy. For a stable wormhole, let's give it a try. Forces balancing the plate, creating the throat, open the gates, from Earth to the stars in a single bound, a shortcut through space profound. Engineers and dreamers hold the key to future worlds and what we could be. With science in hand, we forge ahead through the cosmic paths that we now tread. We're talking wormholes, stargates, negative energy. Travel through the cosmos, it's our destiny. MH370, where did it go? Boeing 777 through a wormhole flow. From the fields to the stars, we break the chains. Understanding the universe, we make the gains. Lil Hula Crunk shines, bringing truth to light. Through his music, we'll explore the night. With wormholes and stargates, our path is clear. Exploring the cosmos, our future's here.